Hey, good morning, Sunday morning. So here we go again, another episode of our early morning, Sunday morning show. This is the channel where pronouncing names incorrectly is more than just doing it wrong. It's an actual art form. It's art. All right. Today we're listening to, hold on, can you guess it? Any punk guys? Buzzcocks. And we'll talk just a little bit more about this. This is a box set I got back in the 90s of the Buzzcocks. 3 CDs, has all of their music. You know, short-lived. Well, actually, they're back going again. Nice little book. Huge fan of the Buzzcocks. This is a 3 CD set. Favorite box set. We'll talk about them in a minute. Today's program is sponsored by Pok A Tok. Yes, International Society of Pok A Tok. It's the game where if you win, you die, but if you die, you live forever. Kind of messed up, isn't it? But it was just this, you know, it was played by the Minds. They had this big, heavy ball, and you had 2 teams, and whoever won got slaughtered. Can you imagine that when you bring in your teams? You know, the guys that are explaining the rules, and if you win, you get, and the guys, no. Don't tell them what happens if you win. Shh, keep it quiet. Just tell them they're going to get virgins. Tell any group of guys here playing you're going to get virgins. They're all excited. They're going to win. They're going to try to win. And then once you win, off with their heads, go find whatever virgins you want up wherever you go. That's how Pok A Tok works. I would have been the worst Pok A Tok player in the whole wide world. I would have been giving up that ball, giving it to whoever else. Just awful at it. Just awful. To win is to die. It's really messed up, so. Got a mustache today. All right. My contest is I was going to poll last night, but I had computer problems. And yeah, computers really kind of wouldn't pull up Wi-Fi. I had it all set up. So I'm having to reset it now, using more of a manual drawing thing. I will have that today. It's all set to go, so we'll do that in another video. All right. This week, I went to a place called Assumption Records. Hopefully it comes up. And this is in Rivesville, West Virginia. First time I ever tried to go to this place was last year, and my GPS took me to this town out in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia. We're talking down in the hollers, all right? And you get to this town, and it's, I mean, the town is just, I mean, it's like gone. All the shops downtown are totally closed up, falling apart. The factory that had been town is closed down. Not a soul in sight. It was like a Stephen King movie. You know, you almost swear to God they're looking out the window saying, who is that stranger in our town? Well, GPS took me to this house. It's just a terrible looking house. I'm like, that's not a record store. There's no record store here. And I gave up. And, well, finally found it. Then someone on Vinyl Community sent me a picture of this place. I was talking about Charleston where I was at. He goes, man, there's this record store up in Rivesville, West Virginia. And this is up in northern West Virginia by, I believe, Fairmont, close to that area. And he showed it was in a church. And I go, I saw that church. The church was the record store. So I went back up there, and wow, what a haul. I'm going to show you. We're going to use Steve's old-fashioned method of showing pictures where I give you the finger. All right, here's the house next door, you know, beautiful stuff there. Abandoned factory in town. That's across the street from the record store. There's the record store. Neat little church. There's your finger. Assumption Records. That's Noella. She's one of the people there. There was 3 people working. Basically, they're an online business. But they started 6 years ago. But then they decided, hey, let's just open a record store in the middle of nowhere. Some of the stuff. For those of you who probably saw this on Facebook, Look at that. That's inside the sanctuary. Look at the lighting and everything. You can see, you know, the old church. Isn't that cool? Here's just some of the. This is downtown. Downtown Assumption. Yes. Isn't that a beaut? My God. Scary place. But the finds I found after 1 hour, I had over 30 albums. I put 10 back. And I hadn't even got close. Even close to looking at this place. But what I found I'm really excited about, playing right now, Buzzcocks. Buzzcocks, Singles Going Steady. And that is on IRS. No, Buzzcocks was formed in 1976. The people that formed Pete, Shelley, and Howard DeVato, I believe. They went and they saw the they saw the Sex Pistols, and they really enjoyed the Sex Pistols. And like everybody else I mentioned, this was punk. Everybody formed a band, and so they also formed one. The word Buzzcocks came up because there was a they saw a review in a newspaper, and the newspaper said, oh God, what is it? It was said, it's the Buzzcock. It was reviewing a TV show, and it's the Buzzcock, two separate words. What does that mean, right? Well, in England, of course, buzz meant exciting, new, performed on stage, you know, something really, there's a buzz about it. And cock was Manchester slang for mate, your friend. So they call themselves the Buzzcocks. Well, Howard was fired fairly rapidly by Peter, and so really Peter became the lead singer. And these guys, instead of talking politics like the Sex Pistols were, they made what we call power pop. It was power pop with power punk put together. Fast, 3-minute songs of power pop. One of them, Orgasmatic, for instance. And the lyrics go like this. You've tried it you tried it once just for kicks, but now you find out it's something that sticks. Orgasmatic. Great. This is an all-time classic punk album, and I found it there. I was so excited. I love the Buzzcocks, but I don't have anything on vinyl. And for those that love punk, you know the importance of this album. This was all their singles put together. Fast Cars, saw on there, Orgasmatic. Okay, so there we go with that. All right, let's get off and go into what I have. Don't have tons of stuff this week because I haven't been home. And it's really sad is tomorrow I leave for Portland, Maine for meetings. Then I go to Cincinnati. Then my wife's coming down to Cincinnati to meet me to spend 4 days doing her Christmas present. Then I go back to Cincinnati. Basically, in the next 2 weeks, I'm home for a total of 8 hours. That's it. 8 hours in 2 weeks. I come home to sleep for 5 and repack my suitcases. Yeah, I'm going to need a lot of money. All right, so Beach Boys. Picked this up. I've never had it on vinyl. Everyone knows the Beach Boys. It did come with. Hey, I picked it up. It had a poster. Yes. This is when posters were posters. See that? You know, this was done in '74, and the Beach Boys hadn't had really a hit in 7 years. Nobody cared. I mean, they were done. They were has-beens. That was part of the '60s. So they came up with this album to really bring their singles, their early singles. This was before Pet Sounds, to put them back out there to the public. And what it did is it introduced a new generation to the Beach Boys again. And it became one of the best-selling albums of that summer. And then the following summer, it jumped on the charts again because it's all about summer. It's called In the Summer, so that's, you know, it was all about summer. And it got them back going again, and people were loving them, and they became popular. My wife did not buy me this mug, I'm pretty sure. All right, next. All right, Paul Simon's Greatest Hits. It was inexpensive, so I bought it. I like Paul Simon. And I believe this was 1977. Yes, it was 1977. Graduated from high school. Just goes through those early hits, and I really liked what he had put out at that time. You know, after this, he did One Trick Pony, and it was kind of, things collapsed for him. One Trick Pony did not do well. But up to that time, he'd done 3-4 solos, and he had so many great hits on there. You know, like this one had Kodachrome, Slip Sliding Away, Still Crazy After All These Years, Me and Julio. Very nice stuff. Well, the other one I bought was Simon and Garfunkel in Central Park. And that was a 1981 concert. This was put out in 1982. Has the book in there still. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for posters and books. I just like it. A lot of times you don't find them. So when they did this, New York was having problems. And Central Park was in disrepair. I mean, they needed over $3 million in 1981 to put it back together. And let's just face it, in the 80s, New York sucked. 70s, they were having a lot of problems. Just terrible. So they came up with these free concerts in the park, and they had this. Well, Simon was actually kind of nervous about it because his last album, One Trick Pony, did not do well, and he thought he'd lost his mojo. Garfunkel was pretty excited just because, hey, that's exposure, and I get to be with Paul Simon. So they did this album. They fought a lot getting ready for it. They both were excited to do it, but then, of course, you know, Simon changed lyrics, changed different things, and you know, Garfunkel was not happy about it. But the concert was attended by 500,000 people. Incredible. Free concert. 500,000 people attended this. And it got them popular. They went back on tour. Kind of short-lived because they began to fight again. But, you know, they covered, you know, this is an album where you can hear each of their solo work, but they sing with each other on there, which makes it more interesting. Alright, another album I bought. This is from Jim Capaldi, Whale Meet Again. Whale Meet Again. I bought it because I just like the title. That's why you buy things. The title's catchy, the picture's catchy. I don't know what to expect out of it. I don't know Jim Capaldi, though he's been on my list, so I did buy this. I thought this was his second album off Island Records. Okay. The second one he did, you know, he's best known for being with Traffic. Him and Steve Winwood were friends, and you know what? They still did stuff together. Even you know, before he died, they would get together. Really a rockin' album. This one was 1974, I believe it came out, and it was great stuff on here. The song "Whale Meet Again" really rocks. I totally enjoyed this. I'd never really seen it before, but there it was in the record store, and with a title like "We'll Meet Again," I thought, hey, how can it go wrong? So since I bought that, I saw this one in the dollar bin. Yeah, I even shop dollar bins. It's a little gold stamp promote. Fierce Heavy. This was from 1984. Nope, 1983. Missed that one. That's Picasso. Well, at least it looks like Picasso. Caught my eye. Love Picasso. So I go, hey, that's all right. Doesn't matter about the music. He had a couple hits off this. Living on the Edge and That's Love. Once I heard them, oh yeah, I know those songs. This album's kind of dated. I mean, it's heavy on the synthesizers in there. You hear a lot of synth. The drum machine. I mean, the hits are good, but it sounds 80s. You know, he eventually died of, he had cancer, stomach cancer, and he passed away in the aughts. But, you know, he does have a lot of different solo albums out there, so I was happy to pick up some stuff from Jim Capaldi. All right, next let's go into the Electric Flag. And this is the Electric Flag's very first album. And we have a Columbia label on there. So Electric Flag, we'll talk about Buddy Miles, okay? So Buddy Miles, he's born in 1947, lived to about 08. I think he died of heart disease on there. His dad, he worked, you know, he grew up, you know, listening to music. I think parents are musicians. He's playing the Delphonics. He's playing with Wilson Pickett. When he turned 16, though, he met Jimi Hendrix. That was 1964, so Hendrix wasn't big yet, but Hendrix was on the Chitlin circuit, and so was Buddy Miles. and so they met in '64. Then in 1967, he met again. He was with Stephen Still at Stephen Still's house having a jam session, and Hendrix was there and they were playing. But he also met Mike Bloomfield. And Bloomfield goes, "Hey man, hey dude, whatever you said, man, I guess. Let's go to Chicago and form a group." And they did. Mike Bloomfield had this, he wanted to form what he called American music. That's what he wanted to call it, American music. So what was American music, you might ask? I will tell you. American music dealt with big band blues, along with a Stax record sound, married with country and gospel, all type of American stuff. Well, basically, it was a horn band. That's what he formed, a horn band. And Bloomfield, he did the first album, and then he left. He was just having a lot of issues. Bloomfield had terrible insomnia. So in order to fix his insomnia, he came up with the great idea, I'll take heroin. Heroin will help me so I can sleep. Didn't quite work out, and he became quite the heroin addict because of that. I'm not sure if it cured his insomnia, but he tried. So they made another album. Miles took over as lead of the group, but then everything, you know, people were fighting, there was drugs, and so after the second album they fell apart. They tried to form later on. But I really enjoyed this album. I didn't know much about Electric Flag. I do have one of their albums. I think their second one, which was okay. I liked this one. I really did enjoy the horns. Side one really rocked. Side two was a little quieter. But, you know, they do songs from even, you know, Steve Cropper, Otis Redding, Easy Rider. The song Easy Rider from the movie came from here, the Electric Flag, a long time coming. So really nice pickup. So, you know, because, you know, the reason I got interested in that one because I picked up this Buddy Miles, and the Omaha Introvert Hannah I'd been talking about, actually she showed this Buddy Miles album, and I'd seen it at my record store. Woo, look at that, that's neat, isn't it? And I hadn't purchased it. And I just was looking at it. I mean, I know who Buddy Miles is, but, you know, just limited, you know, there's always so much fun. Sometimes you think, God, they're unlimited. So, you know, she talked about it. I wound up purchasing it and really like this. It's a 2-record set, you know, a couple of the sides, you know, just one side, one song on here. And obviously it's all live. Really, I enjoyed the album a lot. Just this thing is really crackly. It's pure eggs and bacon going on, so I do need to find a clean copy of this somewhere out there. But fun. So Buddy Miles. All right, but we have Julian Cope here, and another Island record. All right, so Julian Cope here, he formed a variety of punk bands with Ian McCulloch. And these punk bands, again, you know, everybody's making a punk band. You didn't have to play, you know, thing in the late 70s in England. So him and Ian McCulloch were trying different bands, wasn't working. Finally, Julian just looked at Ian McCulloch and says, guess what, you're fired. You fired Ian McCulloch, okay? Well, he wound up forming a band called Teardrop Explodes. Ian McCulloch formed a band, Echo and the Bunnymen. Those two bands never liked each other. Seemed like Ian was pissed off at Julian for something. I don't know. They had some kind of grudge going on. Must be getting fired by who you thought was your buddy. Well, Teardrop Explodes, some people call bubblegum trance. I read that once. They're bubblegum trance. Not sure what. Yeah, you can tell me. But, you know, it blew up. Then he went 2 years, disappeared. And people really thought he was going to be another Roky Erickson or Sid Barrett, because he'd been taking LSD and that, and was really weird. Well, he came back after a couple years and produced his first album, World Shut Your Mouth. Didn't do that well. He did his next one, St. Julian. That took off. This is more of an extended play from 1986 when St. Julian came out, but it does have the song World Shut Your Mouth, which is a song I've always loved. I think that's a fantastic song, really poppy and everything. So that was on here, and yeah, it was a fun listen to. I enjoyed that. 2 more albums, a little jazz. You know, I didn't show jazz last week. I said, Steve, what's wrong with you? There's no jazz. Have you lost interest? No, there's a lot of stuff. On my list of things when I go shopping, on my phone I have a list of what I'm looking for. I veer off that list a lot, but I had 2 Chick Corea albums, and the 2 Chick Corea albums were Now He Sings, Now He Sobs, and Trio. Both of these were on my list. You know, Chick Corea was born in 1941 in Massachusetts. His dad was a Dixieland trumpet player. A Dixieland trumpet player in Massachusetts. Seems like an odd place to have Dixieland trumpet, doesn't it? He learned to play piano, but he also learned to play drums, and he was a good drummer. And when you listen to some of his stuff, you're going to find that he uses the piano almost as a percussion instrument, because there's drumming coming into play. You know, he's played with so many people. He was a big part of Miles Davis's when he went into jazz fusion. Of course he did Return Forever. Well, this is his second album. This came out in 1968, and I guess you could call it advanced hard bop, and moving toward freeform jazz. Beautiful playing on here. I was so impressed with this. I just thought it was a gorgeous album. His playing, it's a 3-piece group. The 3-piece group is, there we go, it's Miroslav Vittoris, Ron, and Roy Haynes. Remember, this is the channel that mispronounces everything as an art form. So those 3 played on this album. Well, then he went on and he worked with Miles Davis, and he went to Return Forever. Well, in 1981, they formed again. So they called it the Trio album, and those 3 got together. This is a 2-record set of ECM. They are. And this one knocked my socks off. The first album I felt was a little quieter. It almost had a classical feel to it. You know, I thought, God, is this classical or jazz? It was kind of introspective. The second one, they did a lot of Thelonious Monk songs, and so that one took off a little bit more. It was a little quicker, a little more freeform was happening in this. I just sit there and really relaxing music. So, I mean, just so excited. In One Records, this was at that Assumption Records that I went to. You know, I looked and, you know, I've been looking for these 2 Chick Corea albums. You find a zillion Chick Corea albums out there, you know, Return Forever and everything, but I couldn't find these 2. And there they were. It's like, wow, I get to knock 2 albums off my list at once. So, that's what I did. Well worth it. So that's what I have. I have like this stack. I mean, when I was putting back records, there's so many things I found, from punk rock to this jazz to rock. It was all over the place. So I'm excited to get through that, but I'm not going to be around to listen to anything. I'm figuring out what I'm going to do next week. Maybe it'll be live from Biltmore Estates. See that big ass speaker? I had a buddy, he's able to pick these things up, 2 for $60. Todd Hunt, if you're watching, thank you very much. And he got them at a great price. So I bought them from him. He asked if I wanted them, and man, do I got some sound in my music room now. Woohoo! Yeah. All right, so everyone, don't forget, Pok A Tok. It's the game where you win, you die. Can't go wrong with that one. You tend to lose good players after a while, though. You know, pretty soon it's only sucky people playing. I'll have the contest later on today, so be on the lookout. I'm going to add 2 more prizes. So many people entered, I thought, gee, it's just 1 prize. So I told the wife I'm going to spend some more money on this thing because I really enjoyed what everyone did on that. So everyone who lasted, thank you very much for lasting over 20 minutes once again. Cheers to you with Mr. Right. That's me. I am Mr. Right with the mustache. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Have a happy week. Have a great Sunday. And, you know, the daylight savings, or no, we fell back. Didn't matter. I got up anyway. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.